And this is the Live at 5 Throwdown. I'm your boy JTM with my man.
I'm Monster.
What's going on, Monster? How you feeling today?
I feel great, JTM. Everybody, welcome to the Interracial Space Station. Little known fact about our show, they wrote the song Ebony and Ivory about it. They won a Grammy. That's what I think.
Again, another week, and I don't know about that statement. I don't know what he's talking about, but that's okay. We're going to keep on going. Man, it's been a busy week. Obviously, this is the launch of the Live at 5 Throwdown page.
I like all the love we received.
We had the duet going to the Bengals camp this week, and we'll be there for some of the week. But we had Monsters Day out at the Bills camp, hogwashing with the bumping elbows with the money of the Bills.
Yeah, every once in a while, Monsters got to get in with the rich white folk. I got to rub elbows a little bit here, tossing a little bit of knowledge there. So we'll get into that because I had something real interesting I whispered in Brandon Beane's ear right before I snapped my picture with him. So make sure you stay tuned to hear that little tidbit of information. I think you're going to enjoy it.
All right. I'm with it. So we got a little bit to dive into. Camp has finally started. It seems like dry season is over. The drought is over. The Sahara Desert, as dry as this off season was for us, is over.
Oh, I was just thirsting for something to talk about. Dude, I was beating my brains against the wall, just coming up with garbage. So going to camp and taking in the whole experience, I can't wait to tell everybody about it. It was absolutely great. It was filled with content that I'm going to share with you guys because that's what we do on our show.
That is right. So let's hop right into it then. You got a chance to meet Brandon Beane this week.
I did.
Got a chance to meet Brandon Beane. How was he? How was it? Yeah, you had a Q&A session with him as far as the speaker series goes. How'd that go?
Oh, man. It was fantastic, JT. The guy didn't come across to me as cardboard or as fake. He was a genuine guy. Real cool with everybody that he met. It's part of his job, but you could tell when people are just kind of faking it. I've met those people before, front offices, what have you, that you could tell when they're faking it. He was genuinely happy to see everybody. So he was taking pictures, and one of the questions during the Q&A was how did he evaluate Josh Allen as far as his completion percentage goes? Because everybody knows that was a huge problem. And Brandon Beane's response was fantastic. He said, listen, he goes, we took every individual situation. What down and distance was it? What options did he have? What score? Was the ball here or was it here? Did the wide receiver drop it? He said there was game film on him. He goes, and we're so technical. We added up all the balls that we felt should have been caught, and we adjusted his completion percentage. He said, but we also judged him on balls we thought should have been intercepted, balls that were terrible, that were in bad spots, that the DBs dropped. He said, so we adjusted the completion percentage. He said, I can't share the numbers with you. He goes, but we took all those factors into consideration to that depth when we evaluated Josh Allen. And I thought that was just a fantastic game.
Well, I actually remember going over some of these numbers with some of the guys in off season, and I believe his completion percentage was like 55, 56% or whatever going into the draft. But I believe the number was if he completed 17 more passes, that he would be upward of 60%.
Absolutely.
So, I'm pretty sure you could find 17 passes on film where they were dropped, whether the passer where they're supposed to be or the receiver wasn't. Because like I said, let's face it, he didn't have top-tier talent playing at Wyoming.
Right. Absolutely not. He really didn't. And just the presence of Brandon Beane. And right before I took the photograph that I had with him, JT, I whispered in his ear. I leaned in close so only he could hear me. And I whispered in his ear, next year, bring home 52. And he kind of looked at me and smiled and just kind of gave me all right, I hear what you're saying. But I had to make sure I snuck that in there. If he hits the market next year, I want Khalil Mack.
It's funny. I got into a conversation last night with a buddy of mine, and we were talking about Khalil Mack. Actually, a cousin of mine, he's the AR for Marquette Kings record label. And, he's talked to Khalil a couple of times, and I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, if Khalil Mack hits that market, he's coming to Buffalo. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's in the city as we speak, working out at the University of Buffalo.
He was.
So I think he's coming to Buffalo if he hits the market. I don't really see it. I don't think the Raiders would be that crazy. I know they do some crazy things, but I don't think they'll be that crazy.
I don't think they're going to have the cap money to match it anyway. He hits the open market, it's a done deal. He's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I want him back here, man. But yeah, meet him and you know what I mean. The Pagulas were just class act people. I mean, the whole organization, man. The way training camp is set up for the fan zones, there was free water for anybody, ice water. They didn't charge you for bottles of water. You know what I mean? The event that we went into, the speaker series with Brandon Bean and Terry Pagula, it was catered. It was just first class. You know what I mean? The refreshments, the beverages, everything was just top shelf. It was very well done, very classy. It was an awesome experience from that standpoint, man. There was nothing like it. It was my first time ever making it out to training camp, and I left with one hell of an impression, and I'm definitely going to be back. You can't stop, monster.
Hey man, I'm hoping to be back with you, man. I know we got something coming up pretty soon here. You know, we ain't gonna let it out the bag, but we got something coming up pretty soon here, and can't wait. But there was another guy you got to meet there.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna start right here in the Live at 5 Throwdown. We're gonna start the epic transformation of Wyatt Teller, the Mountain Man. Tell you a story about Wyatt Teller, man. It's very interesting.
Oh man. So we stood there, you know what I mean, after training camp to get autographs or what have you. And there was a lot of things that, Josh Allen couldn't sign. He told everybody, I'm sorry, I have a private signing, I have an obligation. That's fine, I understand that. Shady didn't come out at all, which was cool. He had a lot of questions. By the time the line got down, Shady was still on the field answering. He was still doing interviews. So I understand, you know what I mean. So, but the people that came over, Jordan Poyer came over. He was very gracious. You know what I mean? They stopped and they signed autographs or what have you. They got all the kids out of the way. All the Bills made sure that came over that the kids were taken care of. That's one thing I did catch and I did really love. Everybody that stopped took care of the kids. They did the kids first. They made sure security got the autographs from the kids or what have you. But as the line started to thin out, I noticed just one guy just going down the line, and he just kept going. And he's standing there in his socks. Okay, this guy's standing there in his socks, huge guy, in his pads, in his gear, real long, Thor-like ponytail. And he gets closer to us, and it's Wyatt Teller. Now, I could see this guy just dripping with sweat, JT. It was hot out there. He just finished training camp. He's a big, big guy, a lot of hair. Love the hair. I'm going to keep mentioning the hair. I love the hair. I want to run my fingers through his hair. It was glorious. I'm not going to lie. So he made sure he signed every single person's autograph that was asked of him in his socks on concrete, full pads. Didn't go to the locker room. He stayed. There was a couple kids who dropped their helmets, their mini helmets, and he was gracious. Oh, no problem. They were very apologetic. But just the character he showed. I gave him a water at the end. He was very appreciative of. Gave a plug to the Live at 5, so maybe one day we'll have Teller. You don't know. But he was very appreciative of it. Great guy. The character was great. If you haven't seen the video, go over to my Twitter page. It's on there, Monster. Got almost 5,000 views so far. You know what I mean? It reached his middle school. His high school principal retweeted it. So it's getting a lot of love, and it shows a great, great character. So the legend of him is going to build, and I'm going to follow this kid because the impression I got from him at camp, man, it's just great character kid. I want to see him do well. I want to see him get in the line and push some people around him.
I mean, I think the greatest part of the story is that at his age, I know he's like 22, 23 years old, he doesn't have a social media.
No, nothing.
I mean, that's the guy I want protecting my quarterback. A guy that's just lasered in, focused, laser focused, man. I mean, you can tell he's about his craft. And I think the Bills may have a steal with him. And I know we're going to dive into the linemen here today. I think this guy may come out of camp as a starter. And if not, at some point during the season, I think he may be our left guard because you guys know my opinions on Vlad DeCoste already.
Vlad the Impaler, my ass.
Yeah. So let's hop right in, man. Let's stay with the linemen here. So we're talking about the legend of Wyatt Teller. We have at camp there was Deion Dawkins was your starter with your left tackles. Vlad DeCoste your starter at left guard. Russell Bodine and Ryan Gore rotated at center. John Miller was your right guard. And you had Jordan Mills at right tackle. I think a few reps was taken from him, but I don't think it was much. Are you confident if we went into the season with that lineup?
Honestly, what I took from the offensive line at training camp, JT, was they really didn't go, even on the first team reps, they didn't really go with a set line. There was a lot of rotation in and out, guards switching. They never really stuck with one. I think the most I seen was 3 reps. I counted with the first team that they had one offensive line stay in there and nobody subbed out. So that was very interesting to me. Another thing that I found very interesting to me about that was there was a lot of run pass option plays. A lot. I caught that a lot. There was a lot of run pass, option plays in there. So I didn't really get a feel for the offensive line because I think at this point, what I judged in training camp is I don't think they have a feel for it yet. That's why there was so many rotations. That's why there was so many substitutions. They still haven't found the pieces yet. They're still trying to figure it out. So I didn't really get a good base for how the O-line is going to work based on what they did in training camp, at least when I was there.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty confident going into the season with that line. Like I said, I believe Deion Dawkins is going to be elite. Yep. I would continue to say that. I think Jordan Mills, from last year, from week 7 to 8, he turned it on and he played a really solid. And I expect him to keep it going because even in the past, there was times he played solid and there were stretches he played pretty bad. But I think he may have put it all together. And you have Jordan, you have Deion. Groy and Bodine, I'm surprised that Groy is rotating. It really shocked me because when Eric Wood was out a couple of years ago, Groy stepped in and he played at a very high level. Vlad Dukas, I'm not even going to talk about Vlad. Vlad is a Castillo guy. You know how I feel. I don't feel like he's good at all. I think
they're going to weed Vlad out quickly. I'm on the same boat with you as Vlad. I'm not drinking the Vlad Kool-Aid at all. I think until they figure out what the heck they're going to do there, I think he's here for now. You know what I mean? He's here for now. And I agree. I think Vlad's garbage. I'm going to say, I think Vlad's garbage. He hasn't showed me anything that garners him a starting spot. I think if he does start, it's because we lack any kind of talent above his to take that spot. And that's shitty for us.
Understandable. Like I said, I think Wyatt Teller, I think he's going to end up being your left guard for the foreseeable future. He has a lot of experience, a lot of starting experience in college, and I think he's a hell of a lineman personally.
Right. Now, what you got to understand, too, remember, JT, about last season, is it was a zone blocking scheme for a quarterback that ran a lot. So I can understand the offensive line getting drained because they had to hold blocks a hell of a lot longer than the average lineman. So we get somebody back there like Allen or Peterman, whatever. We get somebody back there like Allen or Peterman, they're going to cover up for some of the O-line mistakes. They're going to be able to get out the ball quicker if there's a missed block. If there's a blitz that's not picked up by the back, they're going to be able to get that ball out and cover up that mistake. Where last year, the way the offense was structured and the way Tyrod ran it, it exposed it all. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be a lot less stress on our offensive line once we get somebody back there that can just do what the hell they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? It'll cover up for a lot of those mistakes, and it'll make our line just a little bit better.
I totally agree. Now, the Q&A that Brandon Beane had while you were there, he answered a couple questions. Can you go over some of those questions he answered that really caught your attention?
Well, I already touched on the one that he answered about the quarterback evaluation.
Yeah.
So he was also asked a question about the stadium. Now, the question was presented to him with the tailgating experience that is become synonymous with Bills Mafia and the fans. If you move it downtown, you restrict it. You restrict it a lot. Plus, you take away the nostalgia of what it's meant to be at the Ralph. And his response to that was, we're going to do everything we can to keep everything where it is, whether it means renovating the Ralph or what have you. He says, but if it comes down to a financial decision of keeping the team in Orchard Park or putting it down by the waterfront or wherever they choose, and he's emphasized wherever we choose. So if they do decide a new stadium, it's not a guarantee it's going waterfront. You know what I mean? They have to accommodate for parking. They have to accommodate for accommodations. They have to accommodate for a lot of things. So to that, it kind of caught my surprise that he did mention locations or what have you. But basically what he said was, we're going to do everything to keep it where the hell it is. If we can't keep it where it is and it just doesn't happen, we're going to build it somewhere else. So, you don't go into $1 billion decision. People are like, oh, did Terry think about the stadium? Yeah, he thought about the stadium, numbnuts. It's $1 billion investment. He's obviously going to do his homework. You know what I mean? He's going to make a phone call or two. He's going to read a spreadsheet. You know what I mean? So that caught my eye. And then he was asked a question about, the hell was it? let me think here for a second. He was asked a question about, it slips my mind. I'll get back to it though. But the answer that Bean gave for that one was just, it caught my attention. You know what I mean? Like it's very well thought out. They have a plan.
Now I know Terry Pegula also spoke. Did he chime in on that stadium at all, or he just kind of stayed away from that one?
Honestly, Terry Pegula's Rodney Dangerfield. He came in with one-liners, made everybody laugh, and that's all he said. Like, that's it. I loved it. I loved it. And, you know what I mean? He was a class act, real good guy. Kim was absolutely beautiful. She's a very elegant woman. Kim Pegula is just, you know what I mean? I was very impressed. She was very personable. You know what I mean? She was very engaging with the fans. Again, didn't seem fake, didn't seem forced, you know, anything like that. So I was, you know, I was very, I took it all in, JT. You know what I mean? I stood back a little bit and I took it all in. You know what I mean? And just watched everything around me when I was in line. When I was waiting to meet, you know, Brandon Beane, I was watching, you know, how Terry was talking with the old time folks, you know, the old time fans and so on and so forth. And a lot of them were very, very, like, to the point of tears. You know what I mean? We're talking 60, 70-year fans that were there at this meeting that, you know, thanked Terry for keeping the team here and Brandon for what he's done, you know, with the team, so on and so forth. And it's just, it impressed me. It impressed me a lot. It impressed me a great deal. Now, another thing, okay, I remember what he said before. Yeah, it came back to me. So what? Monster's old. It slips me sometimes. Piss off. All right, so anyway, the last question that I'll touch on was the schedule, okay? And what a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know, and I've been a football fan all my life, was Brandon Beane basically sends a memo to the league of dates that he needs the stadium available, okay? So now that's how they determine the schedule. Does the venue have another event at it? You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. But they also take into consideration how much police presence is going to be there. Is there another event going on in the city? Is there enough medical personnel on staff for these days? So it goes a lot more in depth when they lay the schedule than just, okay, this team's going to play here, this team's going to play here. You know what I mean? They take into consideration, you know, weather factors, stuff like that. But just touching on, like, you know what I mean? They have to get the venue secured and make sure there's enough police security and stuff on. Like, it goes a lot deeper than you'd actually think. So that kind of was like a, all right, I get it. And it kind of showed me, like, the level of intelligence that Brandon Beane has. Like, he just, you know what I mean? Like, he talks business. Like, he's a cool cat. Like, if he was a lawyer and I got in trouble, I'd hire Brandon Beane. Like, he's just got the kickback, slick back hair, you know what I mean? Real young guy, clean suit. His whip. You wanted to bring up his whip?
Now, you said Brandon Beane pulled up in a all-black Lamborghini.
Yes. It was a secure lot. It was off to the side. I'm like, look at this Lambo. Who's going to pop out of it? Is it going to be shady? But no, dude. Brandon Beane got out with the aviator sunglasses. It looked like he got out of the jet at Top Gun. He looked like Tom Cruise getting out of the jet at Top Gun, JT. It was
wow.
It was just, wow. I just right then and there, I was like, you know what? I kind of like this guy. He's still young enough to.
I tell you what, when you told me that story, I took Brandon Beane as an Audi guy. I'm like, this guy, he like an Audi guy, you know? Little sleek design, little stabilism, you know, looks stay conservative. But the black Lamborghini, I'm convinced. He's Bruce Wayne. Yeah. He's Batman. Brandon Beane is Batman.
You know what? I should have thought of that. I could have picked the lock on the Lambo and checked the trunk. Bet you there's a bat suit.
Yeah, if you would have tried that, I probably had a different co-host to this Monday.
Yeah, right.
But thank God you did.
That doesn't mean he don't own the Audi though. He makes a lot of cash. Brandon Beane, I bet if that's what he drove to training camp, I can only imagine what he's got sitting in the garage. You know what I mean? He's got good taste. He was a snappy dresser. I like this style.
Hey, Brandon, if you're watching, invite us over for dinner. We're a hell of a time. So, now, let's dive into the quarterback situation.
All right.
It seems like finally we have a real quarterback battle here in Buffalo. Now, we're what, 4 days, three to 4 days in now. each quarterback had some ups and downs, but when they put the pads on, it seems like Josh Allen looked the best out of all of them.
Yeah, when I was at camp, it was kind of weird because Allen in the 2 hours Allen didn't really get a lot of reps. It was McCarron and it was, you know what I mean, Peterman going back and forth. And there was, I'm going to be honest, there was a lot of throws that Peterman should have made that were easy. He missed. He just bricked them. And there was some good throws downfield. My impression of Peterman is you give him 20 to 40 yards and he's good. But you give him 10 to 15 on out routes, he's not going to hit them. Like, he seems like more of the long ball quarterback. So he completed a lot more down the field than he did, you know, short field. And McCarron was kind of the exact opposite. McCarron was hitting Clay on a lot of slant routes. You know what I mean? So the two different quarterbacks. Like, Peterman's the long ball guy, and A.J. McCarron is the efficiency guy. And the few reps I did see with Allen, it was kind of 50-50. He only threw like 3 or 4 balls that were kind of like wow balls. And one of them the dude tripped on. I think it was Ray. He tripped on it. And the other one that was caught, it was a pretty sweet catch. And the other one was caught too, but it was tipped. It was kind of a goofy play. But I didn't really get to see much of him. He didn't take too many reps. You know what I mean? There'd be the first team on the offense on the field or the second team offense on the field, and he'd be back towards the other end zone, you know, just doing kind of drill things like one-on-one. So it was kind of like more conditioning stuff that he was doing. So I didn't really get a good look at him. But Sam Peterman and Sam McCarron, I still didn't see a starting quarterback. I still didn't see somebody who has everything together to just run the offense. They showed their strengths, but they also showed humongous weakness. And it sucks for me that I didn't get a lot of firsthand view of what Josh Allen had.
Okay, I know people have been waiting and people are asking us for our takes on it. This is my take on the quarterback battle, if you want to call it that.
Lay it on me, baby.
Nate Peterman, as I said before, has the arm of a toddler. I agree with the long ball thing. The long ball thing is because it's a lot easier to throw the ball up in the air 40 yards like he did against the Chargers and got it picked off 5 times. Than it is to throw an out route 15 yards, which is probably harder to throw in football. He can't make that throw because, like I said, once again, he has the arm of a toddler. If someone wants to make a shirt and trademark it, go ahead. I don't even want to cut. Peterman has the arm of a toddler. Okay? A.J. McCarron, this is a 2-man race. It's either A, you're going to go with the veteran for a little while to hold the rookie back, or you're going to throw the rookie into the fire depending on how much he can handle mentally. Now, for me, if this race is even close, if it's close, if there's a tie goes to Allen, no matter what. Because if it's that close, then you might well throw him in there. I don't think he's a quarterback that's not mentally tough. He's a farm kid and he played at Wyoming. He's not from USC like a Darno, who finally came to camp. He's not from a Florida State like E.J. Manuel. He's not from a big school. He's more like the Carson Wentz. He's from a little school with receivers who are probably 5'9", 170 pounds, running 4.75 40s and rounding their routes off. So therefore, he's probably mentally prepared to not win or to come back from not doing good. Hell, he had 2 games versus Oregon and Iowa last year that was awful. Still came back and kept playing. So if he can respond mentally to mistakes, then you throw him in there. It's no point of time and waste. There's no reason to waste it.
Right, and I don't really give a damn to see McCarron or Peterman play at all. That's Mazda's opinion. Screw him. Throw the kid in there. Let's see what he's got. Unless there's a clear-cut advantage, and I didn't see it myself. Let's face it, folks. It's Nate Peterman and A.J. McCarron. Are we really expecting to see Brett Favre on the field? Are we really even expecting to see Joe Flacco on the field? I mean, come on, folks. I'd take Tyrod Taylor over both of them at this point. Now, Josh Allen's unproven, so we'll see what he has. But as far as those two go, I take Tyrod over him at this. And everybody knows how much I love check down Tyrod.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't see a point of sitting a rookie. Like, Jared Goff is a quarterback that I think about in the last couple of years that came out. And then Jameis Winston. I'll compare those two. Jameis was mentally tough. You knew he was mentally tough coming in. He's going to respond. He's a competitor. Jared Goff.
Jameis is shit.
Well, he's mentally. He can throw 8 picks and still come out and throw 5 touchdowns and not care. He's still going to sling it. He's still going to throw that same route. He's not going to shy away from it. Jared Goff struck me as the type of quarterback where he came in and they had to sit him back down for a second because he was not mentally ready. You could have mentally broken. You know what I mean?
Right.
I see Allen as the quarterback that's the mental. If he throws that post route and he overthrows it and it's picked off, he's not going to be gun-shy not to throw the post route again. He's not going to try to throw this. He's going to come back and damn it, he's going to try it again and again and again until he gets it. That's what he strikes me as. And if he's that type of quarterback, there's no reason for him not to play from day one.
Agreed. I want to see what he has, man. Let him go in there and sling it. Like, you're not going to learn sitting behind McCarron and Peterman. You don't have a great mentor. Like, there's no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason, dude. If it's that close, throw him in and see what he has. All the fans want to see it. Like, you know what I mean? Don't play it out. Don't drag it out till we're 1-5, and you know what I mean. And then you're gonna, all right, let's throw him in. And no, that's bullshit. Don't do that to the kid. You either give the kid the reins from the start, or barring injury, you let McCarron or Peterman take the beating for this season while we season this kid for next year.
And just speaking about the mental resilience, we had a comment from EJ Manuel that said him sitting on the bench really destroy him, send him to depression and stuff like that. And I felt like he was almost blaming the organization for his failed career. Well, I have a message for you, EJ. All right. I watched you from high school up. I watched you in Florida State. Everybody knows I'm a big FSU fan. Buffalo didn't send you to depression. You just weren't an NFL starting quarterback. You're still not an NFL starting quarterback. You had all the tools, but the mental makeup, which I'm hoping Josh Allen has. You didn't have that. It's not Buffalo's fault, because of Buffalo's fault, when you went into Oakland last year, you would have had it. You had a chance to try it over again, and once again you stunk it up. So don't blame the organization for your failures. You're just not an NFL quarterback. Take your money in your 10 or 8 or 9 year career and be happy and be satisfied. That's it. That's all I have for you, EJ. Sorry, but not sorry, bro. Moving on.
You want me to get him?
Yeah, let's have a monster moment. Go ahead.
You want to get him? EJ Manuel, what are you talking about? You're going to blame the Bills organization because you suck ass as a quarterback. I watched you at FSU too. I'm a huge Seminole fan, all the way back to Deion and Warwick Dunn. I seen you play football. You played good in college, but when you got to the NFL, you shit on yourself. Don't blame the Bills because you couldn't read a defense or because you were indecisive with the ball and you shit all over yourself. That's not our problem. That's your problem. And I think it's a cop-out that you're going to blame the Bills organization because you underperformed as a first-round draft pick and everybody in your family was embarrassed of you. Don't blame the Bills for that. Blame yourself and your lack of preparation to play the NFL game, because you were good in college, but once you got to the NFL, oops, I forgot how to play football and throw it. So don't give me that shit that it's the Bills' fault you went into depression. You went into depression because you watched your All-22s and realized that you sucked ass. EJ Man.
That's not checkers, you bum. Moving on.
This guy.
Well, what did you see from the receiving corps? Because now one thing we're not talking about is we have a number 2 receiver battle, because with Zay Jones' absence, as we know, this is the NFL, next man up, and the best ability and the most important ability is availability, and he ain't here. So somebody's stepping up. Who do you think it is?
Well, let me give my opinion on what I've seen. Who do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be Brandon Riley.
Okay. What about Curley?
I just don't see him putting Curley on the outside. I see Curley just operating mainly in the slot. Not saying he wouldn't be the number 2 target while on the field, but I see Curley just primarily in the slot. 31 years old, 5'9". I just don't see the outside.
No. He was. You're absolutely right. He was lined up a lot on the inside on 4 receiver sets. They did a lot of 4 receiver sets, and they did a lot of 3 wide, and then one on the other side. Which a lot of times I did notice that they had Kelvin Benjamin on the 3 wide on the inside too. So they had some plays, and what struck me as odd is they had Ricky Proehl lined up as the single receiver on the opposite side. So, like I said, there was a lot of run-pass options. There was times where they ran out of that formation. You know what I mean? They ran a power or they ran a flip or what have you. But what I see is that now one thing I will notice, and I'm gonna call him on it, is Ray Ray. That I was a big Ray Ray fan. Big 187. He got a big afro. I like that stuff, but I noticed 3 or 4 times they had to actually physically move him into the right spot. He didn't know what plays were called. He didn't know where he was supposed to line up. There was a couple times he was supposed to go in rotation, and McCarron basically had to say, dude, move. So mentally, I don't know. He seemed like he wasn't really there. Physically, once he got the ball, The dude was a rocket ship. He reminded me of the Rocket Ishmael. The dude was just flying once he got it. So I think he needs a little more of a mental edge, and then I think he might be okay because physically, once he got it and he was running, he was gone. Like he was real fast. Um, Riley, Riley was good. I'm not gonna lie, Riley was solid. They didn't throw a lot to him. They didn't throw a lot to Kelvin Benjamin either. To be honest, they did a lot of short plays and a lot of like I said, the run pass option. There was a lot of run. JD looks fantastic. JD looked ready to go 2 months ago. He's flying, dude. He looks humongous. Like he looks awesome. So JD looks ready to go. KB looks ready to go. Like I said, they didn't really work him too much. So I think KB spots secure where he's going to be. I think Riley secured as either the second or third where he's going to be, and I think that Curley's going to battle it out with the rest of the depth chart to see who's going to fit in that fourth, maybe fifth wide receiver role.
All right. Since we talked about the quarterback tie, and we said if there's a tie, and we both agree that if there's a tie between Allen McCarron, and I'm not putting Toddler or Peterman in there, the tie between McCarron and Allen, that tie goes to Allen. If there's a tie between Pro and Curley, who does it go to?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
That's a tough one.
It would be. It would be a hard decision to make. It would be a hard decision to make because basically they both do the same thing. They bring the same thing to the table. So it's not a situation of whether you need somebody a little bit bigger on third downs to go over the middle or what have you. They're both the same type, the same prototype of player. So I honestly don't know. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to call that one a toss up. I think they could pretty much throw either one of those guys in there and they do a competent job.
Whether if there's a tie between Kalen Clay and Ray McCloud, because obviously we know that they're going to be competing for special teams job, and that's good. That battle really won't be decided until towards the end of preseason. That's going to go all the way down to the wire. I mean, we know Clayland has been here, traded back for, and I don't know what.
I gotta go with Ray Ray. I just like the hair. I gotta go with Ray Ray based on the hair. He flies like a rocket when he gets the ball. I like Ray Ray. And he's pick 187. Come on now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, it's like you had a good time at camp, but you also got to meet Pancho Villa.
Yeah, man, I did. I've been talking to Pancho a long time on Twitter. I've been a big supporter for a long time. I've contributed to his GoFundMe. You know what I mean? Just a great great guy. We've had private conversations. You know what I mean? So when I ran into him on Twitter, it was, you know what I mean? It was an emotional thing before we got on, and we actually shot the little bit of content that we did shoot. He had to put his mask on and everything or what have you, but we talked more off camera than we did on station for a little while, about good 10, 15 minutes. And just what a genuine dude, man. What a great dude to get behind. What a great dude to support all he's going through. Just the spirit was up, man. Like typical Pancho, man. He had the energy. He had the smile. He was happy to be there. You know what I mean? Just a great guy. He's everything that I expected him to be. You know what I mean? When I met him, dude. Ezra's a great guy, dude. And if you have a chance and you know him, go support him. He's going to be on the show later on this year. Me and JT are going to figure that out with him. He loves him some Monster, and I love Pancho right back. Huge supporter. So it was definitely a great honor to meet him.
I mean, it's big because Pancho has pretty much become a staple in the face of Bill's Mafia in the last year, and like I said, I couldn't think of a better person and a bigger, and he's a huge supporter. He's a huge supporter, and he's what every Bills fan should be. The
Absolutely.
Passion, the love. And he's not a very negative guy, which is huge. I mean, I've never heard anything negative about him. It's just positivity. So like I said, keep fighting, Pancho. We be behind you. We love you, and we definitely can't wait to have you on the show and to talk to you, man. Get your thoughts on the season and things of that sort, man. Definitely keep fighting, brother.
Pancho power. Viva los Bills.
Right. Now, you wanted to touch on two subjects today. The first one being the Ezekiel Elliott autograph signing that went horrible.
But, at this point in the show, JT, I have a choice where either I could take our show, which is now rated probably PG-13, and make it not safe for work. I don't know if I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? So, all I'm going to say about Zeke is you're such an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? It was a whole fantasy convention. People paid thousands of dollars for weekend suites, and part of it was to meet your ass. And you're gonna tell these people, oh no, you gotta buy my stuff, so you can only buy my ugly ass T-shirts for $25. Nobody wants your T-shirts. That's why they're not selling. Stop trying to hawk them at personal appearances for fans who pay great money to see you and get your autograph on mini helmets. If it was me sitting there, JT, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to sign your helmet, even though you paid $200 to see me," and I said I would, after I was 2 hours late because I don't give a shit about my fans, America's team, America's team. I don't give two shits about my fans, so I'm going to show up 2 hours late because these morons can wait in line for me. JT, if I was there, I would have told my lady, take my son outside. I'm going to have a little talk with Zeke about how to treat your fans. And then I would have proceeded to sit on his car, waited for him to come out, and then I would have bashed him in the head with a helmet. Told him that. How are you going to make us wait? Like you can only get little twisty braids in your cute little half shirts that you like to wear, which Monster thinks is kind of You can only get those because the fans love you and support you. How dare you shit on your fans like that, dude? I can't stand to see stuff like that. I can't stand it at all. Now, when I was at training camp, there was quite a few people I took pictures with. I even signed a couple autographs, which is awesome, but it's kind of weird at the same time. Like, even on a little scale like that, like, how dare you treat those people like that? Like, I could be a billionaire. I'd still sign every single autograph like Kyle Williams does. Like, how dare you treat these people like that? Like, you have no idea how they look at you, in what regard they hold you. You know, they tell their kids how great you are, but you're standing in line with them, and you got to explain to your kids why you've been there for, 2 hours. The kid's gone to the bathroom. He's 7 years old. You know how hard it is to keep a 7-year-old calm for 2 hours standing in one spot? It doesn't happen. So that's all I got to say about Zeke. I could go on for 26 hours ramming Zeke, and I just don't want to do it. Just a shitless move, dude. Just classless.
Understand. On a lighter note, Aaron Donald, he's still not in camp. Are you seeing the Rams sign him to a long-term deal? And if they don't, could Brandon Beane, if he at 52 can't bring 52 home, try to pounce on him?
I think we have a better shot at Mac than we do at Darnold. I think they're going to pay Darnold. I think he deserves it. I'll be honest. And I'm the first one to tell them that these people make too much money. But the dude's on his last year of his rookie deal. He's set to make like $4 million. Like, for what he did last year in the MVP, you know what I mean? It just pay the kid. He deserves it. You're not going to find anybody like it. Like, if you brick him and let him go somewhere else, he's going to have a Hall of Fame career, and you're just going to kick yourself in the ass because you let him walk out of the door over what? $8-9 million that you're going to spend on some asshole that's going to play special teams anyway? Like, just pay the kid. Like, he's earned it. I think he deserves it. And I don't say that about a lot of these kids. I'm very anti-pay them because I think a lot of them are exorbitant and they have an ego.
Julio Jones.
Ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, I've sat back and I watched this guy continue to dominate for the last since the day he stepped in the league. And I've seen countless people get paid in front of him. And he's watched his fair share of people get paid. He's seen the trade for Keith to leave. He's seen Brandon Cooks get paid. He saw Todd Gurley get paid. He's seen them pay Whitworth and free agents. He's seen countless people get paid. Sue got paid. And he is yet to get paid.
Marcel Darius got paid.
Yeah, you can't do the man like that. And if he's available, I think Brandon Beane makes a call. I think he makes a run. Definitely think he makes a run. I don't think he does not make a run. I think he makes a run.
Yeah, you got to make that phone call. Aaron, you got to make that phone call.
But I'm with you. If Mac and Donald both hit the market, which I highly doubt, I mean that would just send the market on a frenzy. If they did, I think Mac would be more likely to come to Buffalo. So
I think we need it more. I think if we just break it down to a position we need more, he'd be great, but I think Mac would just fit us more.
Right. Because, I mean, when you really look at it, Shaq Lawson, people can say what they want. I don't think Shaq Lawson is making it out of camp.
Not if he's punching people in the face. Like I heard he got into a fight in training camp. Dude, what are you doing? You're on the bubble as it is. You can't. I'm going to show team spirit and punch people in the face. No. Why don't you go sack the quarterback? That's what we need you to do. Not show spirit by throwing left hooks at other linemen. Idiot.
Right. I mean, the thing is he threw a right hook. But once again with Shaq Lawson, and I'll say this again. Shaq Lawson, when I look at him, I see an NFL player who's immersed in the image of playing in NFL than he does as a player. And I don't see him being a player that Brandon Beane would ever play long term. Even if he came out this season and had 10 sacks, I still don't see Brandon Beane paying him long term. Nor do I see him making it out of camp. Because this is his third year and he's still rotating. And camp, and he's pretty much put the twos. That's trade bait. They're gonna do the same thing they did to Sammy Watkins. They're gonna say, okay, we don't want you, we don't want you. We want you to get in perfect health, get in perfect shape. We're gonna showcase you in a great preseason game or two, have a couple sacks, and we're gonna deal you as soon as we can.
Third round pick for Shaq Lawson. I'm calling it now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I mean that's about the time we have. Anything you want to add before we take off?
No, again, I want to say thank you to everybody that I met at camp. I mean, from Lisa to, to Charles and, everybody that, that was gracious enough that wanted to take a picture. You know what I mean? Just, it was very touching. It was very humbling for me to see that, all this came from starting bullshit little get-up videos, which I'm still going to do when the season drops. Those never going to change. You're still going to get the weekly get-ups for each of our opponents, but it's just truly humbling, you know what I mean, that it all started out a year ago for that, and it's gotten to the point where, you know what I mean, people are starting to, take recognition of the content that we're putting out and the effort that we put forward. So it truly is humbling to me, you know what I mean? If you ever see the #1 Monster jersey, you know who it is. Come up and say hello. I'm very approachable. I'm never going to bite your head. Don't ever be afraid. It was a great time. It was very humbling, and I want to thank everybody, for that. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Except for football's back, JT. I can't stand it anymore. I'm just busting at the seams to scream about shit, and I got nothing. But it's right there. It's just picking right at the tip of my tongue. And I just want to rage about it, and I can't because it's not time yet. So I got to stay in the cage. I got to keep my leash on, and I don't like it. It's bullshit.
Hey, but speaking of people, hey, we are going to be at the Bills-Carolina preseason game. You see us there? Come talk to us. We want to talk to you. We love you.
Got to drop a get-up video at the preseason game, so it's going to get very interesting. But, yes, we will be at the Carolina game, so you want us to pop by, say hi, what have you? Let us know. Hit me with your details in the inbox, and we'll hook something up. We'll definitely come hang out, say hello. Me and JT love everybody. We love everybody.
And we're actually gonna go live from the stadium. We're gonna do a little special live at 5 from the stadium that day. So hey.
A lot of live content because nobody brings it like me and JT bring it. That's why.
But hey man, that is our time. What's this? What was it, episode 8? Still here.
I don't know. I can't count past 5.
It's 8. We're still here, and we'll be back next week for 9. Maybe with a different setup. We don't know. Stay tuned. We're getting better every week. But thank you for joining us, man. We love you. Football season is back. Finally, it is back. This is what we live for. So, man, enjoy it. Leave us comments, DM us, talk to us. Go like and follow the Live at 5 Throwdown page. We have plenty of rants and short, funny videos because we're funny guys on there. Hey, if you ever want to join us, let us know.
Bills Mafia, get up!
That's right. We are out. Catch y'all later.